it's Dallas with New Country 1015, and welcome this afternoon to Facebook Live. We are talking with an expert at Northside Hospital today because we want to talk about it. If you have seen any of my posts in the last couple of weeks on my Facebook page, talking about women and the things that we have dealt with over the past year during the pandemic, during COVID-19. And Dr. Toral Fadia is with me today from Northside Hospital. Welcome, doctor, and thank you so much for being here. And tell us a little bit about what you do at Northside.
Thank you, Dallas. Thank you for having me. I am a psychiatrist at Northside Hospital. I've been on staff there for 11 or 12 years. Time flies. I serve as their medical director of behavioral health services, and I'm the chair of psychiatry for the hospital.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. And let's get into our conversation about talking about it. How about that?
All right, let's talk about it.
Well, before you're a doctor, you're a woman.
Yes.
And you have certainly had your own struggles, just as we all have. And I think it would do our audience great just to hear what you've gone through in the past few years and with the pandemic and how things affected your life.
Absolutely. We're all people before our jobs or our titles or our professions or all the initials after our names. And just like anyone else, this past year has been trying. From a work perspective, it's been very stressful. There's been a lot more acuity and volume with the patient population. We see a lot of anxiety and depression that we're seeing, and that puts a lot of pressure on me, additional to what was already there from a professional perspective. But at home, I'm also a mom. I have a teenager and the 11-and-a-half-year-old. I'm a wife, and I have all these other roles I'm trying to fulfill to my best. It's been hard.
And that's what this campaign is all about. You know, having my girlfriends over the whole, past year or so, it's just been such a great help, and having people to talk with. But, there's a lot of women that they've been isolated. Their husband has been, he's been working lots of hours because things changed in his world dramatically. And let's talk about those women that went from the workforce to getting up every day, getting ready. I know I feel so much better when I get up, take a shower, put my makeup on, put some clothes on, and not work in my robe, and it's so easy to do when you're at home. But there's so many women that have gone through this. So they had to get up, but they didn't get ready. They still had to work. And then they didn't take their kids anywhere because their kids can't go to school. And then they had to be teacher too. I can't wrap my head around that because I don't have children, but I know so many women that have been through so much, and, and talking about things just makes everything so much better. It's so good for the soul.
It is. We are wired for connection.
Right.
And what COVID did is it took away some of those connections because we had to isolate physically. But physical isolation doesn't mean you have to be emotionally isolated. However, it did take more effort to maintain those connections that were just built into our day by going to work previously. Those women who, had to stay at home and be mom and teacher and work, and then feel the need to present a certain way to the world as if they were completely competent, had it all together, had it all organized. And at the end of the day, we're expected to look really good too. Right? Like,
yep.
it is not equitable in terms of how we're supposed to present ourselves and our male counterparts. So, it really, there is all of this societal pressure that is out there on women having to fulfill a vast number of roles and look a particular way. That pressure is there. We can't change the fact that media And these ideas that we're bombarded with in our environment tell us that we have to be a particular way. The issue arises when we internalize that and we put that pressure on ourselves and we buy into it. So that's where I think we can really we can opt out. We can give ourselves permission to not be okay, and then, as you were saying, to talk about it with other women who are very likely not doing well either, but bottling it up because of that societal pressure to present a particular way.
Yeah, we've all been going through this together, but
Yes.
but everybody handles everything so differently.
That's right. That's right. And unless we talk about it, there's no opportunity for us to get the support that we need and the validation, because it's unless your girlfriend is lying, she's having her days that she's not doing okay either.
Exactly.
There's no way. This is above and beyond what anyone could have imagined. The uncertainty, how long it lasted, and the impact that it's had. It's not something that anyone was prepared for. And it just overnight almost kind of took away a lot of the coping mechanisms that we had, whether it was getting together with your friends, going to work where you have people you connect with, going to the gym, which recently reopened, but a lot of the ways that we coped and connected were taken away. Nobody's done okay. We put so much pressure on ourselves, and we need to not. Society will try to, but we have to push back against that expectation that has only grown over time. I mean, a couple generations ago, it was that beaver cleaver mom where you had to be the perfect little housewife in the apron, and that we've definitely made progress since then. There's a different pressure now where we're trying to, many of us, juggle a career which we've worked hard to build and is very important to us and part of our identity. And I think it's very important to maintain that, as well as juggling things at home. I think another piece of this is we need to talk to other women, and certainly they're going to be able to connect with us in a way that our male counterparts won't. But if you do have a partner, if you have a husband or some, ask them for help. Don't try to do everything. Delegate. Because they can't read our minds, and we sometimes expect them to. So I think it's really important to just say, hey, I've had it. I need to go to my friend's house, handle it, or
it's your turn, take over.
Right. I think we need to learn to delegate, and that's about, we tend to overfunction, and when we overfunction, we're allowing our counterpart at home to underfunction. That's a setup for resentment and bitterness. So we need to set that boundary. We need to know what we're okay with, what we're not okay with, and making it very clear to whoever, if there is another, a partner at home, saying, I am not okay with this, that, and the other, and I need you to help me with this. They're probably going to be like, oh, okay. Because they not know. And what that's going to do is bring you closer to that person and less resentment.
And if it doesn't bring you closer, you don't need them in your life, because if they don't want to step up and help out. But I know a lot of women that keep things inside, and they don't say things to their partner or their husband or whoever it is, because they're so afraid of how they're going to react. I'm like, if he doesn't like it, then tough. I mean, you're in this together,
Why would you share a home or a family or a bed with someone you can't share your heart with?
Right.
Think about it.
So true.
It doesn't make sense. That's the person who is supposed to have your back. That's your ride or die person. So if you can't say, I'm really stressed out, I'm struggling. The way I look at it, Dallas, is, say you're the primary homemaker, and they're the primary, more, traditional home, setup. and they're the ones working, you feel like you've got to take care of everything at home because they're working and paying the bills. Well, think about what they're getting. They're getting a lot more adult interaction. They're and your job doesn't stop at 5 p.m.
Right.
or 7 p.m. You're doing all of that during the day. And I honestly think there's been research done on the monetary value on that work that you're not getting paid for, but there is a tremendous amount of money that is worth. And then when they come home, they get to sit around and do nothing. That doesn't make any sense. I think when they come home, it's 50-50.
I totally agree. I totally agree with that. I mean, I've known people, I've had girlfriends, I've had siblings, my sister was in a marriage like that. And it's just, and she always felt like she was just beating her head up against the wall. And it's
not fair.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not.
It's not fair. And, I think that it's up to us to use to talk about it and to say, and in order to talk about it, we have to feel validated and know our worth and know that this is what I need and I am worth it. And
right.
It's a legitimate ask.
Yes. And if you have the right girlfriends and the right people in your life and you talk about things, you're going to have that validation. I mean, sometimes we don't feel as strong about ourselves as we should, but if you've got people surrounding you that make you feel that way, it just makes life so much easier.
It does. It does. Women need to keep it real.
Yeah.
They need to keep it real. And if they don't, it's like you said with some of the girlfriends that you realized you needed to let go of, move beyond during COVID.
Right.
I think that you have to give yourself permission to do that. And it's not that you wish them ill, it's just not a good fit anymore. And as you progress and grow as a human being, as an individual, some of that is shedding the negativity, the toxicity. And if you feel judged, it's a pretty telltale sign that you're not around the right people.
Right. Absolutely.
And, I had a woman, a close friend of mine, who recently shared with me that she was over functioning at home. And I had to point it out to her because she was like, I feel really lonely even when I'm not alone at home. And so we were talking about it. I'm like, have you spoken to your husband about this? Well, she did. And he was more than willing to get up with the kid in the morning, more than willing to go to couples therapy, which she didn't even know that he would be open to. So if you don't ask, if you don't talk, then you're never going to be able to get your needs met.
Yeah, that's so true. And I mean, there's been times in my life that I didn't open my mouth because I was scared of the answer, or the feedback, what I was going to get. And I'm definitely not that person anymore because I will say what's on my mind at any point in time, as all women should. But just talking about it and getting that strength from other women, it's so important in our life. So
it's
important.
Invaluable.
And it doesn't matter if you're 20, if you're 30, if you're 40, 50, 60, it does not matter because there's different aspects in everybody's life things that people have going on. And it just doesn't matter your age. It's so important.
It doesn't. And I think one thing that I want to make sure that, it doesn't have to take a lot of time or energy to connect. I think one thing that I know I felt really pressed time-wise, so I try to, when we talk about, there's been a lot of talk about self-care. So I've tried to dumb it down into, things that don't take a lot of time because people are like, oh, that's self-care has become a whole other thing that they need to do on their to-do list. And like, look,
yes,
you have to breathe. So let's talk about breathing a different way because you have to do it anyway. Well, with connecting with other women, for me, it's when I'm getting ready in the morning, I just call my sister or one of my best friends and put it on speaker while I'm putting on my makeup or doing my hair. Yep. So we get that 10 minutes, and it's just a way to ease into your day. If you're back in the office and you're commuting, you can do it on your drive. You know, make it fit into your day, make it work for you. And then if you have an opportunity to, what I think the best thing I implemented during COVID was I started going on walks with my sister. She lives right by Chastain. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, like we try once a week. It might be 3 weeks that it goes by, but we try for every Sunday afternoon. And the kids know they're not invited. They always want to know. They're always trying to be, no,
No.
this is adult time.
Yes.
This is adult time
Yeah.
with your aunt. And you know, it's 3 miles. It takes about an hour. You get a little blood flowing, you know, you're moving instead of sedentary, and you catch up a little bit. We talk about our kids, our husbands, or none of the above.
Yeah.
But you make it fit, you make it work. And it's so worth it.
I think women have to, you really have to know that there is a huge difference between pampering and self-care.
Yes.
You know, pampering is something, because a lot of people, they want to put that all in one glass bowl together, and it is not the same thing.
It's
at
not
all.
a massage. Okay. It's not
Right.
a 90-minute massage at the spa. That's pampering. And hey, if you can do that, do
That's
it.
great. Yeah.
But we can make it fit. It doesn't have to cost anything. It could be, you know, if you have a friend that you know is going to make you laugh, and you call them and just be like, you know, it could be a 5-minute conversation, and
Right.
you laugh a little bit, and that is good for your lungs. It's good for your mood. I'm kind of a nerd, so there's research to support laughter. But it's easy. It's really simple.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be hard. It just has to take a little bit of just thinking about it.
Yeah.
And knowing that you're worth it.
Dr. Fadia, it has been so awesome talking to you and talking about it, which is, of course, this whole campaign for Northside Hospital, and just getting women together, just getting them together and letting them know that it's okay to not be okay. And thank you so much.
Absolutely. My pleasure. This was great. Thank you.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much.